I'm Prenita Reddi. I'm 37 years old. I own my own transport company called Refuel Carriers. We run a cross-border transport company carrying gas and fuel into Africa, right up to the Congo. And I entered this competition because I believe that a woman can empower a community can empower society, a society can empower a nation. So that's why I'm here. Okay, so I believe that women do empower communities because at the end of the day, what I find is that women don't believe in themselves enough. And that is the major issue that we as women have, that we just don't believe that we have the ability to do it. We don't have the ability to be in male-dominated environments like I am in transport because it's very scary, because we feel like we're always being judged. And when I was working at in various companies, I remember once when I was changing over from insurance to banking, people told me it can't be done. It's not possible because I don't have banking experience. And once again, it's so easy to believe that. It's so easy to believe that you don't have something rather than you do have something. And I persisted, and I knew that I had the qualities. I may not have had the experience in banking, but I had the qualities that a banker had. And I persisted, and I got employed in one of the top banks in South Africa. So it was very exciting for me. And then again, when I was studying my master's, I came across an opportunity where I wanted to. I met a very senior person in the bank, and I asked her, you just completed your master's in business leadership. Can you give me some advice? And at the time, I was a single mother, and she said, "You're a single mother, and you have a full-time job. There's no way you're going to do it." And once again, I'm so glad I didn't listen. I believed in myself. So I use these experiences within my community to tell people that as long as you believe in yourself, anything is possible. And I've been, saying this type of wording to the communities in which I lived. I lived in Lenasia. I'm now in the south of Johannesburg. And that's my message to people. Believe in yourself, anything is possible. And I've seen that grow because I've got women that I'm now mentoring. And I see that their self-esteem and their confidence is improving because of that. It's 40% at the moment, and it's because, we deal with cross-border transport, so it's a little bit more difficult in my industry because obviously we're not just dealing with South African borders, so there's other dangers involved as well, but it's 40% at the moment, and I'm hoping to grow that number. Majority of our businesses in the rest of the continent. I think from a percentage point of view, we're looking at 20-80. So 80% into Africa, right up to the Congo, Zambia, Zimbabwe. So I have many challenges in my industry. It's not just about, dealing with South African laws and customs and issues. It's also about knowing what's happening in the different countries within our continent. So it's quite exciting, but also very challenging. And also because women are not very accepted in the continent as well. So that's another challenge that I face on a daily basis because, people just don't take women in Africa seriously. So you've got to overcome that. But I know that with persistence and perseverance that I can prove that all I need to be as a successful leader is basically, my determination and my skill set. And I can prove that. I think the fact that I've grown it from basically nothing. When we purchased Refuel 4 years ago, it was a shell company. So I've built every step of that. I went back, I looked at the strategy, I looked at the vision, I looked at where I wanted the company to be. And funding obviously is a huge issue, but there's ways to overcome that. And I looked at a funding partner. So I'm very proud of the decisions that I've made to get the business to where it is. It's still a growing business. It's my baby. I love it. But it's definitely something that I'm very proud of.
If you could say...
Well, it's the turnover as well. Remember, we started off from a zero revenue, so anything plus 1 plus 2 would have made a difference. But we've grown that business into millions. I mean, so for me, it makes me proud. We've also taken it from 0 staff to now like 13. So it's exciting. It's exciting employing people. It's exciting empowering people, empowering women, empowering just in general communities. So it's something that I'm very, very proud of. I think the most important thing when dealing with different countries is, I think, being ahead of the game. understanding the cultures that you're working with, understanding the people that you're working with, and understanding their laws, legislations. Like we had an issue in Zambia earlier this year, where the government took a decision just to stop all transport of diesel into the country. So you need to be on top of the game. You need to know, that these things can happen at a drop of a pin, and you need to have alternative plans in place. So we're quite lucky in the fact that we're quite diversified. We don't just do petrol, diesel, gas. We also do some flat deck work, and we're able to quickly then get onto other clients and able to diversify that business. But I think that's the key to dealing with it, because you never know what's going to happen in other countries as well.
And it's just one fuel that you distribute?
It's petrol, diesel, gas as well, and then we do flat deck, so we do consolidation. So if people just want to do like parcels, we do warehousing, which we can stock and then put a consolidated truckload together and then transport that into Africa. It's exciting. It's challenging, but very exciting.
Do you own your trucks?
Yes, well, some of it is financed. I'm not going to say through which bank. Yes, we do. Yeah, so our strategy was not just to go and buy brand new trucks from the beginning, because it was always difficult. I mean, I come from a financial background, so I understood that. And I worked in banking for a very long time. I worked in business banking. So you've got to balance it off. You've got to grow, but at the same time, you need to still ensure that, you kind of, doing it right. So when we started the business, we went with secondhand trucks. We've replaced some of them now, so they're brand new. And we're slowly building the fleet. And we need to prove to the bank that we can pay them back as well. So it's not always easy. You need to balance everything out. Cash flow as well. It's very cash intensive to go into Africa. You've got to pay for tolls. You've got to pay for diesel. You've got to make sure you've got enough money for breakdowns and any issues along the way. So it does become very intensive. But I think that's part of the vision and the strategy and how to manage it.
And currency, getting currency out of it.
Yes. So a lot of the cost is in dollars.
Yeah.
So with the fluctuating rand, it doesn't quite help. But the nice thing is payments also in dollars. So you can counter some of that. So when I go on my overseas trips, it's always lots of fun because it doesn't cost so much. But yes, so it is very intensive. But then we've got to balance that out as well. Because if we purchase in Zimbabwe, it's 20-1. Comparative to if you buy in South Africa and we're sitting with 13-1. So your costs can go up quite considerably if you're not aware of what's going on. My hubby and I do a route risk analysis every year. So we go right up to Zambia. We've done the Congo, but it's hectic. But you get to know the difference in petrol prices along the way. And all of that makes a difference to your bottom line. As an entrepreneur in this business, you've got to make sure that bottom line is so thin that you've got to watch costs so carefully. You've got to watch tire maintenance. You've got to be on top of every little thing, lubricants, if you can get it just a little bit cheaper, but it still needs to be of good quality because your trucks are going so far and they're doing so many kilometers. So you've got to watch every inch of the business very, very closely. So it's close monitoring, but